Hi, my name's Nick with Eagle Eye Insurance. I am the owner, and these are my videos to help you absolutely free. Hi, welcome back. Last time we talked a little bit about hurricane preparedness, and to move on, we're going to go ahead and talk about landslide, flood, and earthquake coverage. Three great coverages really round out a policy. There are different things about them I'd like to discuss today on times that you want to get them, times that you don't. A lot of people say flood insurance. Flood insurance is great. It's mandated and taken care of by the federal government. They mandate the whole entire thing. They mandate the prices, where you can get it, where you can't, etc., etc. The best way to actually get pricing on it is to contact your agent directly and see how much they charge. It's actually very inexpensive. Basically, it's based on where you're at as far as how likely you are to get a flood, and also as a national portion of it. That money gets spread out throughout the nation. So areas that are very prone to flooding don't have to pay these outrageous prices for the flood coverage. However, people that aren't prone to flood damage, well, they don't have to pay a huge amount, but they'd pay a little bit more if it were with the private sector. And again, that's mandated by the federal government, but you can find out more information from your agent. The other two coverages, to round it out, were landslide and earthquake. Earthquake, pretty simple. An earthquake happens, and then you'll have coverage with a certain deductible. Deductibles can range from a simple straight rate, $500, $1,000, $2,500, or it could be a percentage of the dwelling value, like 2%, 5%, 10%. Earthquakes in Virginia aren't very popular. They don't happen a lot, but when they do cause a lot of damage. And earthquake policies really aren't that expensive, depending on what you have. The other portion of earthquake damage, or earthquake insurance that you need to know, is whether or not you include the masonry. The masonry portion of it doesn't necessarily mean a masonry veneer. It could mean the masonry foundation. So you also want to contact your agent about that, see if you need that masonry coverage or not. The last coverage is landslide coverage. Landslide is basically when the ability of the dirt to hold itself together and the angle come to a certain point, and then the land gives way, which obviously would cause damage to your home if your home was on that same land that moved. There is a difference between a landslide and a mudslide. A mudslide is considered a flood, and what determines that is the percentage of water inside the soil itself. So a very high percentage of water would be considered a mudslide, which would be covered under flood. And then if there's a very low percentage, it'd be considered a landslide. Then there's sinkholes. Sinkholes is a separate coverage. It doesn't happen a lot. It generally is defined as when the land underneath a structure actually gives way due to the degradation of the soil over time. So not necessarily the land breaking away, but the soil actually compacting and degrading over time. I always recommend, if you're going to get flood insurance, get all three. The difference in price is very minimal over the year. Also, if you have one, it can be not covered because they can consider it one of the others. For example, just not too long ago here in Stafford, we had a home where there was an earthquake, there was a lot of water, a lot of rain, and then there was a landslide underneath these houses, damaging these two houses. So you had all three incidents happen. If it's with a good insurance company that stands by its product, it wouldn't be any problem, but there are a lot of people out there that won't cover it because they could say, oh, it was the earthquake that did it, oh, it was the water, so it was a flood. If they can deem it somewhere else, then they don't have to pay out on the claim. So you want to be very careful. My recommendations, get all three if you're going to get one. Again, the difference in price is very minimal. You can get a flood insurance policy for as little as a couple $100 a year. You can get all three for as little as, we'll say $600-700 a year. So it's not a very expensive coverage. It can save a whole lot and really rounds out your policy. That's all I have today on landslide, flood, and earthquake insurance. Again, I seriously recommend it. If you do want to contact me, have more questions, you can contact me at the phone number or the email address that you see below. I am available for you anytime. Thanks. Have a wonderful day. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about those other coverages. These coverages are very important when it comes to your policy, depending on where you're at. As we all know, a general policy, a homeowner's 3 policy, is basically the same between all companies. It's those other coverages and your agent which makes your policy a well-rounded, positive policy for you.